Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 1996 horror film Hellraiser, Bloodline. So this came out in 96. Adam Scott and Kim Myers are in this. And I completely forgot that they were in this film. And I absolutely love the two of them. But I feel so bad for Kim because I can't see her doing any other projects aside from the second Nightmare on Elm Street, her playing the character of Lisa. And all I hear in my head is Mark Patton screaming, "Lisa! Lisa!" every single time. And I love Mark Patton so much, and I love that that's the reference I get every time I see her on the screen. So as soon as she popped up as this character Bobby, my mind, I heard Mark Patton screaming Lisa. Hysterical. Absolutely love it. I'm so glad that that's how my brain works within these actors and actresses. Adam Scott we know and love for, he does everything, right? We know him from Parks and Rec. He's done a slew of other projects, but this was like one of his earlier things. So he plays his character Jacques in this. So this is, I thought the third was my favorite so far. This is my favorite. And I say this because now that I'm well equipped within story, and especially coming off the high of the R.L. Stein's Fear Street series on Netflix, watching this now is very different as opposed to watching this in the 90s when I was a kid. I don't remember watching this. I watched it, but I don't remember the plot points and stuff. So this compares a lot to Teen Wolf storytelling and a lot to Fear Street, going from past, present, future, all these different things. So we start out on a spaceship called the Minos in 2127. And so we're in the 22nd century. Pinhead is still alive and well. He's being summoned. We have this Dr. Merchant, last name Merchant, using a robot to open up the box, which he has conveniently on the spaceship. But it's a matter of, why are they on the ship? What's the purpose of being on the ship? And why is Pinhead now on the ship? We get flashbacks. We go all the way back to 1796, Paris, France, and the origins of the box. The origins of the puzzle box, which was created to open the door between Earth and Hell to get these Cenobite demons out, right? To elicit the pains or pleasures of the user, right? So Merchant is the last name of the toy maker Merchant, who is commissioned to make this puzzle box by this rich magician. He then delivers the box. He hides to see the purpose of the box opening the worlds. A demon, Angelique, comes out and elicits the pains and pleasures. She's not referenced as a Cenobite, just a demon, and is around. So she's been around for 200 years then. The Merchant bloodline is still going down. She is very aware that the Merchant bloodline is capable of making the reverse puzzle box, where the original puzzle box can bring them out, but the reverse puzzle box can take them away and destroy them forever. So she's aware that she has to get rid of the Merchants or convince them to, work with her to make sure this never happens, things like that, right? So Pinhead comes about, in the 80s and the 90s. We know this, right? He's been around since World War I because of Captain Elliot Spencer, right? We know that Captain Elliot Spencer had the puzzle box in World War I England. Well, he wasn't in England, but traveling throughout the First World War, got the puzzle box, got his pains and pleasures, and, became Pinhead that we all know and love. So at the end of the third film, Joey the reporter puts the puzzle box in a slab of wet concrete. Flash forward, there's a building now, right? A building that has been taken over by the puzzle box, kind of. It's very innovative, inspired by, if you will. Turns out the architect who actually made the building that the slab was a part of is the newest Argent. Not Argent. Oh man, see, I'm getting on Teen Wolf now. The newest Merchant, because again, there's a French background of Teen Wolf as well. The newest Merchant, whose name is John. There we go. And he created this building kind of based off of a drawing from one of his ancestors as a reverse puzzle box, but he couldn't quite get it. He knew that there has to be light, and he knew that there has to be mirrors in order to trap the demon, but couldn't quite get the fullness of it. So Hellraiser's wreaking havoc. Hellraiser is in Pinhead. Pinhead is wreaking havoc, with Angelique through 1996 New York City. So we're back in New York again, and then things don't end quite well there. We get the flash forward back, or the flashback forward, because we're going back to the future because we start in the future. There we go. So we go from 2127 to 1796 to 1996 back to 2127, where the newest Merchant, Dr. Merchant, created this space station as the final catalyst of the original drawing from the original toy maker, to trap the evil that he saw come out of the puzzle box. So the space station, after Pinhead is, around and has his Cenobites, they're wreaking havoc, killing people on the spaceship, is trapped via hologram. That was pretty cool. To have the space station become this massive box of light and mirror, getting rid of the evil, getting rid of the darkness with light. Nice, beautiful metaphors, but actual science thrown into it. Merchant and his, other commanding officer, Ritter, I believe her name was, escape and head back to Earth. So all of the other Hellraiser films take place in between the third and fourth film. Because the fourth film is the final film. Because Pinhead is dead. Pinhead dies in space. He is literally exploded. The demon is no more. The demon has been attacked by light in space. So why I keep referencing Teen Wolf and why I keep referencing Fear Street is that it gives us a lot of the prequel aspect. It gives us a lot of the origin story. So Fear Street, we go from 1994 back to 1976, then we go down to 1666, and then we go back to 1994. So we get all these different past, present, future, right? But we start in the future, and then we go back to the past, and we go back to all these different things. But we get the origins of why there's the curse and all these different things. Right? That's why the Fear Street series is incredible, and I can't wait to be Skull Mask this coming Halloween 2022. I have the mask. I don't have the costume yet. That's still en route. It's still being made. It's taking a while. C'est la vie. Love me and my Trick or Treat Studios. Can't complain. They do have great work, but shipping issues across the globe. Can't complain about it. It's just, that is what it is. Anywho, going to Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf has a whole origin of werewolves in Paris in regards to where the Argent name comes from, where Marie Javon fights Labette in France. That's where the whole Argent family line comes from. That's their bloodline. So Hellraiser Bloodline is about the merchants, being the French toy maker bloodline, that the bloodline can still retain the deja vu memories, if you will, to finish what was started, and it's finished. So I'm very interested in seeing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know how many Hellraiser films there are, to be completely honest. I have a list. We got to go through it again. But those are all technical prequels to this fourth film, because it's the fourth and final film, because Pinhead is no more. He's dead in space in 2127. So I'm curious what happens from 1996, the end of the third film, up to, well, technically middle, because this was a past, present, future film, prequel, sequel film, if you will. What happens after? So what happens when we get to the 2000s? What happens when we get to the 2010s? I don't remember. I've watched them. I don't remember. They all kind of blend. So this was so well done in the sense of storytelling. And I know there was a lot of issues with actually writing it, with directing it. The original director wanted nothing to do with it anymore, so a new director had to finish it. But the finished product, watching this 26 years later, is awesome. Absolutely awesome. I'm very impressed with it. I love this series more than I remember, because I only saw the series probably chronologically once in total, if I'm being completely honest. But watching it now, having a better understanding on story, this is so well done. This is so well done. It keeps up the theories of my favorite conversation I ever had. I just had this conversation with my best friend Kyle the other day, because this was one of the major conversations that we ever had. If you die, if reincarnation exists, right? If your soul comes back, as we can see from different bloodline stuff, not so much the soul coming back, but the bloodline keeps traveling. In regards to Pinhead aspect, right? Or the individuals who just died on the spaceship that we watched in 2127. If you die in space and reincarnation is a thing, where do you reincarnate? Do you reincarnate on a flea in space? Do you reincarnate on the nearest planet with the strongest gravitational pull? Do you reincarnate on your original planet of birth? How does this work, right? So if Pinhead and the puzzle box, if the puzzle box is just a gateway to hell, if it's just a doorway to hell, you don't have to necessarily be on Earth for the doorway to be opened. And we see that because the doorway is open on a spaceship. So hell is not so much a specific place and time within an earthbound setting. It's its own different dimension with its own different realm. Laws of physics don't apply to different realms. It's so cool seeing that. The other physics concept of the 3D plane is just the shadow of the 4D plane. Love it. There's a beautiful picture imagery of it. There's like it's an orb. It's a globe, but there's like different squares around the entire thing, like making this globe. and there's a light, and the light shows the checkered shadow, like a checkered, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 square kind of shadow just on the table. But the orb itself is the fourth dimension, and then we're the third dimension shadow of the fourth dimension. I love it. I love these concepts. But it's funny because you don't expect all these different, theoretical physics theories. Well, if that's what theoretical means, theoretical physics. You don't think theoretical physics would be a prime staple point within the Hellraiser franchise, but having read so many different things for so many different years about so many different topics and getting a better understanding of things, different theories, different understandings, especially physical versus metaphysical, it's pretty neat seeing this in film from 96. This film was incredible. It does not get its due justice. The only issue I have is a very awkward and inappropriate conversation about a trans woman, but it's irrelevant to the plot point. It's important to discuss it because it should not be a thing, and here we are 26 years later, and we know that's a no-no. But back then, it was just standard to talk like that, and I'm very glad we don't talk like that anymore. Very, very well done film in general. I know there was a lot of problems getting it made. I know there's a lot of back and forth, but keeping in that Teen Wolf prequel mindset, keeping in that Fear Street prequel mindset, getting the explanation of the box, it also felt like Conjuring. We get a lot of backstory on the Annabelle doll in the Conjuring franchise universe. There's 9, 10, 11 films, something like that. The Hellraiser franchise is 8, 9 films or something like that. Here we're on the 4th film. I am gushing about it because it's just so well done, comparing it to how other storytelling works. I am very excited to see what happens next. In regards to a prequel to this, even though it's a sequel film. So, on to the 5th Hellraiser, whatever the hell it's called. I don't remember it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens next. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.